Good morning, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to share with you all some new products and then just do a quick look for work this morning. I do work from home, so most of the time when I am applying makeup it's because I have a meeting and I have to be on camera. So the new items that I have are the Green Goddess Glow Oil from Milani. I do have a new foundation from Makeup Academy. It's the shade 185. I have a new palette. This is the 9X Little Extra palette from Morphe. And this is how she looks. On my lips today, I am wearing the Item brand of Lip Quick. It's a lip oil. The packaging is, the writing on the packaging is kind of faint, so you can't really see it. But this is how the lip oil looks. So I haven't primed my face or set my eyebrows or anything like that. So I'm going to do all of that with you all. So to hold my brows in place, I'm going to use the Super Brow Fixer from Nicka K. I purchased this from the beauty supply store. I think it was about $5.99. So it is, let's see if I have a spoolie. It does have like a gel texture to it. I don't want to put too much. So my brows have already been waxed. So I'm basically just holding them in place because they're already shaped, so I won't have to try to really do too much of that when I apply the when I'm sculpting my brows. I'm sorry. It's early in the morning, so I'm up, but my brain is still waking up, I guess. Okay. So that looks good. We'll give that, look at me, I got it in my hair. We'll give that a minute to dry. While that is drying though, I'm going to go ahead and decide what I'm going to use to sculpt my brows. So there are several things that you can use. My normal go-to is definitely an eyebrow pencil. But I do have the Eye Sculpt Eye Shade palette from Juvia's Place. And when I use this, as you can see, this one has really been loved on. This is the shade that I normally use for my brows. There's also like a little brow kit from Wet n Wild that I have. And I think I purchased this from Walmart. It comes with mini tweezers and a spoolie. And you get 2 powders and a cream. Or you can use like a brow pomade. And I have different ones that I use. So I have a LA Brow pomade. It is in the shade Soft Brown. And then I have a random one that I purchased from Amazon. So if you are new to makeup and or exploring, you may want to try to see which ones you like. I use all of them. It just depends on what I'm trying to do for that day. If I am pressed for time, of course, I'll always use an eyebrow pencil. Oh, I have wasted something. So this pencil is from Wet n Wild. It's almost gone actually. I purchased this from Dollar Tree, and I think the shade is Simmer Brown now. But I've had it so long and I've used it so much till the name is worn off of it. But I think it's simmer brown now. And so what I would normally do is make sure that it's sharpened, because I find that that kind of makes your the brow that you sculpt, come out a little bit more crisp if it's sharpened. And so because my brows are pretty much already in the angle that I like to wear them, I would just be mainly filling in the sparse areas, like this area right here. It's frustrating because you always try to get your brows to be exactly alike, or as similar as possible, because even with my natural brow, this right one, in my opinion, is always wider than the one on the left. So I start off just drawing a line. And then on that tail end, I'll kind of fill that in a little bit more. I draw a line on the top as well. And then towards the front, I just kind of draw in. I'm trying to mimic the way that your eyebrow hair actually grows, if that makes sense. And I'm just doing the same thing on the other side. And once you start to do it, to wear makeup and play around with it, you'll kind of find out what you like and what you don't like. Okay. So I don't want it to look too dark. The other tail looks a little bit thicker to me. So I just wanted to fill it in a little bit more. And so once I've kind of drawn them in, I take my spoolie and I go back in and just go through and blend the product that I've added. Because you don't want it to look too thick towards the front. You want it to look as natural as possible. Okay. And then I will take a flat brush. Something like this. It doesn't have to be this size. And this is the type of brush that I use to clean underneath, to clean up my brow with. I'm going to add a little bit more to this one. And to clean under my brow, I normally use a concealer that's a shade or 2 shades, lighter than me. So these are my normal go-tos. These are the Milani concealers. This is the shade Warm Almond. This one is Warm Tan. And this one is Cool Sand. Cool Sand, Warm Tan, Warm Almond. They look very similar in on camera, but they're all different shades. So, or they get lighter as they go, I guess I should say. So I'm going to use Cool Sand. So I use the brush to go as close to the brow as needed. And I think I'm going to use a smaller brush. I think I'm going to use this one. And this is a Urban Studio brush that I purchased from Shop Miss A for $1. And again, I'm trying to get as close to, but not cutting off, the brow that I've sculpted. And then the excess product, I'm just rubbing in or moving around. I'll take another brush to kind of blend in what I've done. And I try not to waste any product, so whatever is left, I try to put it to use somewhere. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And the beautiful thing about makeup is that it's forgiving. So if you notice any type of imperfection, you can fix it. You can start over, or you can find or learn ways to fix it. And I use the cool tan underneath. I'm going to go in with the darkest one, which is warm almond, to clean the top. And this one I'm just going to put on my hand, because I'm going to use my brush to try and be more precise with it. So I just saturate the brush in the concealer that's on my hand. And I'm going to do that for the other side as well. Okay. And I'm going to take that same buffing brush and just buff the product out. And normally when I am getting ready for, I'm sorry, this looks uneven to me. Normally when I'm getting ready for a meeting, I will try to use neutral colors if possible. Try not to be too outlandish with my color choices, because after all, it is a business meeting. So probably gonna use the two light shades and maybe this darker shade over here. So I'm gonna start with a smaller brush. This is a BH Cosmetics brush. It is fluffy, but it's not as wide. So I'm going to use Raise a Toast, which is this lighter brown shade. I'm going to use that as my transition color. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other eye. So you can apply the product if you want, and then go back and kind of blend it. I kind of do it at the same time. But it's whatever you like. Okay. And you will just continue this step until you get the color payoff that you want. So like this would be fine for me. This is kind of like not too bold, kind of like in between. It's not light, it's not dark, it's in between. So I would stop here. So now that I am satisfied with my transition color, I'm going to go into Feeling Rich, which is this shade. And I'm going to take another BH Cosmetics brush, but it's a little flatter. This is the number 3 brush. And I'm going to swipe. And I'm just adding this color to my lower portion of my eye. So you can still see that transition color. I'm not taking that away. Just adding a little bit more, I guess it would be depth to my eye or dimension to my eye to make it a little darker. And then I can go back in with that first brush if I want and kind of blend out the edges of the color that I just placed, so it'll all be seamless. And then finally, I'm going to go into that darker color, which is Strike Midnight. Sorry, I don't have my glasses on. And for that one, I think I want to use like a pointy brush, like this one. Now, this is not a real, this is not a BH Cosmetics brush. I purchased this from Amazon. I think it says Door Time, D-U-O-R Time. And these were some nice brushes, very inexpensive. I think it was like 15 brushes for less than $10. So I'm going to Strike Midnight is the shade name. And I'm going to kind of start as if I'm going to do a wing, like a wing liner. But I want this dark color just on the ends. So I'm basically just applying my product. And I can go back in and blend, or I can blend as I go. And I don't want to take it too far over. I want it mainly to be on the end. Just to add that dimension that I want there. And I like the way it looks in my crease. I'm not sure if you all can see that. So I want it just above my crease a little bit. But I don't want it to be too harsh. So I'm gonna make sure that my edges are blended out really well. And then you can always add more product. So if it starts to look faint and you feel like there's something else that's needed, you can always go back in with your product. And I'm just going back in with my concealer because I feel like that pop of color that I want there was being lost a little bit. And I don't want that to happen. Okay. So we can blend some more. We can add some more product. Whatever it is that we need to do before moving on with our face. I think I want to add, let's see. I think I do want to go back in with the Feeling Rich, which is this shade. Going back in with that flat brush. Because I don't want the Feeling Rich to be lost. I want that to be seen. Okay. And so if you have eyeshadow that has come down here, you can take a wipe if you want it this time and go ahead and clean that off. Or it can be cleaned up with concealer. It's up to you. So I'll clean this side with the wipe. And then the other side, I'll go in with a little concealer. And so I normally just start where my eye crease is. And then you can take that same concealer brush that you used and go in and kind of clean it up. And you're going to blend it in with that buffer brush that you used earlier. And the goal also is to try to use the least amount of brushes because you don't want to have to clean, you don't want to have to make a lot for you to clean up. Okay, so once we are done that, we are done with the eyes. I am going to use my Pond's moisturizer. No, I am not. I'm sorry. Forgot I have a new product. So I'm going to use this Glow Oil that I purchased from Walmart by Milani. And just put that over my face. It smells really good. I also purchased the Milani makeup melt for remover as well. So I purchased both of those. Hadn't had a chance to use the makeup melt yet. So if you feel like there's more needed, you can definitely add more. I like the way this looks. I like the way it smells. And it doesn't feel heavy on my skin. Okay, now I am going to use the Milk Hydro Grip. Now, if you don't have this primer and you want something similar to this, but this is just too pricey for you, there is an e.l.f. Primer that works just like this. I have it, but I have it packed away, so I can't show it right now. But it works. It does the same thing. So I am going to take a brush. And I actually have a primer brush, but it is packed away. So I can use this one. It's fine. And I'm going to put product on here. And just apply the primer all over my face. Again, if you feel like more is needed, you can add it by all means. And then it doesn't take long for this to dry. And normally when it does, it has like a tacky feeling to it. And that's what you want, because you want the makeup to adhere to that primer. Okay, so again, I do have a new foundation, the MUA Makeup Academy Pro Base Foundation in the shade 185. I purchased this from Beauty Bay for $3. You all know I am all about a sale, a bargain. That's me. So I am going to apply the product on the front and back of the brush. And based on the coverage that you're trying to get, you determine how much product you want to use. I'm going to take my foundation brush. This is a BH Cosmetics brush as well, number 1, and I am going to start patting my foundation on my face. And then once everything is in place, I will determine if I would like to apply more. So I think this is a buildable foundation, meaning you can start with a small level for minimum coverage, and you can add more product for full coverage. And I always try to make sure I go at least to my ear, because sometimes when you are applying makeup sitting at a vanity or a mirror, you kind of miss some areas, and you get outside, and then the space in between where you stopped and your ear is a totally different color than the product that you have applied. Okay. So I think we're good. I don't really have a lot of skin challenges. I have some slight hyperpigmentation. I have some freckles in the weirdest place to me, but I have a lot of freckles up here, and they weren't always there. They probably appeared within the last 5 years or so. But so I normally just do minimum coverage. And then when I choose my concealer, I try to go a shade or two lighter than my skin tone. So these are the Born This Way Too Faced concealers. This is the shade Chestnut. This is the shade Cookie. And this is the shade Caramel. So Chestnut, Cookie, and Caramel. I think I want to go in with Caramel. So I'm going to put a little bit on my chin, down my nose, down the bridge of my nose is what I was about to say. I put a little bit on my forehead. And then underneath my eyes, I like for the inner corner to be lighter. So I do put the cookie in the inner corner. And then for the remainder, I put the caramel. And you want to make sure that you're letting it dry a little bit, not too long, because you don't want it to be stiff, but you don't want to start to move it while it's still really wet either. And you can blend in your concealer with either a sponge or a brush. It's whatever you like. Sometimes with some products, I find that if I use a damp sponge, it takes most of my product away. So that is why I mainly use a brush. Okay, while we're letting that dry a little bit, I'm going to decide on what I'm going to use to contour with. You can use foundation sticks to contour. I use the Sephora Make No Mistake foundation stick in the shade Mahogany. And so I am going to start. This is a Real Techniques brush. This is a contour brush. Is there a brush number? Brush number is 206. Do I want to start? I think I'll start with my nose because that looks about dry. With my under eye, I normally start to try to blend towards the bottom first, and I'm just using that buffing brush that we used earlier. And then once I start moving towards the top, I'm just patting, making patting motions. Again, starting to blend towards the bottom and then patting, moving towards the top. Now you may not like your under eye as bright as me. So instead of going the 2 shades lighter, you can just go 1. I probably go 3 shades lighter, to be honest. I'm going to go ahead and start to blend my chin. And I'm going to take that bigger brush to get this done the way that I like it. And I'm just going around to make sure there's no harsh lines. And I even bring the concealer up towards the ends of my lips, the corners of my lips. And it's going to look a little ghosty initially, but trust the process. Going to go back in with my foundation brush and blend around the perimeter of my face, because there's still foundation product on here. Okay, if you want, you can now go in and kind of blend with your blending sponge. I don't wet it because it takes away my product, and I don't want that. Now you may want to wet it when you start to put your powders on. Okay, I am going to go ahead and apply my powder. Today I'm going to use the Sacha Buttercup powder. And I just put a little bit in the top. And I take that same brush, dip it in the powder, tap off any excess. And I am applying this powder on top of my concealer. So any place that you are placing cream products, whether it is foundation or concealer, you want to make sure that you are setting those areas with a powder. Okay, that's the first powder. So now I'm going to go in with the Sephora Make No Mistake. And I normally squeeze my cheeks in like a fish. And that's how I apply my concealer. I'm sorry, my contour. But I start from the top of my ear and go about halfway. And you're sculpting, you're applying this contour to sculpt your face. And then you'll bronze it up to kind of bring back some color to it. So this is a Real Techniques contour brush. It does not have the number on it, but it kind of looks like a toothbrush to me, just a different, bigger version. So for my cheek contour, I press it out and then I blend up, trying to keep that line that I've applied there. And then this, I just kind of move the product around. And then again, moving up. And then for the bottom one, I am blending down because of course you're trying to make your face look slim. Or more defined, I guess would be a better word. And also you want to make sure this is blended well. Okay. Because this is a cream, I also have to set that. So to do that, I'm going to use my Juvia's Place Bronzed in the shade Dark. And this is how it looks. And I normally tap those two colors. This is a Urban Studio brush as well that I purchased from Miss A for $1. So I normally mix the two. And then go in and set. And I'm I'm just setting the perimeter of where I applied. Okay. I am now going to go back in to my face. This is the Laura Mercier, I think it's translucent. I don't want to spill it, but I'm going to put some of that underneath my eyes as well. I am also going to sculpt my nose a little bit. And I just start from my eyebrows down. Kind of using this same brush to make sure you aren't leaving any harsh lines. Then, I realize I have a lot of things that are packed up. So I'm going to use this. I've never opened this. I just see the Maybelline Fit Me powder, matte and poreless powder. It's in the shade 355 Coconut. And I'm going to use that to set the remainder of my face. To do that, I am using this Real Techniques brush. It's a 001 brush. This can be used for bronzing, blush, to set your face, whatever you would like to use it for. And I have a habit of cleaning up as I go, so I'm sorry. I'm going to take a bigger brush and just brush the excess powder from underneath my eyes. Oh, this brush smells so good. I wash my brushes with Irish Spring soap. That's the only thing that seems to get everything off the brush. Okay, so now we need to decide on a blush. Just making sure there's no harsh lines. Blush, 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 blush. So I think I'm going to use the Juvia's Place, the Saharan Blush Palette, for two reasons. These two shades right here. I think I'm going to mix those and put them on my cheeks. This is a little brush set. It's the brand Texamo. I purchased these from Amazon. It came with about 10 brushes for $10. So I'm going to dip both. Apply that on my cheeks. And I normally put my blush going upward. And let's see where I have lost some of my brow. So I'm going to go back and just take this spoolie through there, not really adding any more product, just using the product that I have. Do I want to do an eyebrow? Maybe. Let's see. Eyelash. I can't find my words today. So I am going to apply some lashes today. I have put the glue on those and they are drying. I'm going to go ahead and add mascara to my natural lashes. And I may add mascara to the bottom lashes too. I'm undecided. Haven't decided on a lippy. Uh-oh. I'll pick that up in a minute. Where does this go? Doesn't go in there. Oh, it came out of my blush. Cleaning up, sorry. Uh-oh. Let's see, should I do a matte lip or don't know yet. I think I'm gonna go ahead and spray my face. I'm gonna use the Anastasia Dewy Set, the little mini spray I have. You're not supposed to do that with your eyes open though. I'm weird like that. See, I'm just gonna take my brush and just push that spray into my skin. And I like it because it gives you the right amount of dewy. You don't look wet. Let's see. I think I'm gonna do. I have a new lippy that I bought from Revolution. It's their Pout Balm. I can get it open. No, it has a little perforated. Okay. So I'm going to use that same liner to line my lips. That's pretty. And I'll be right back with my lashes. Okay, this is the completed look. I did add some lashes. These are the Ioni lashes that I purchased from Dollar Tree. I did add some highlight in my tear duct area. And I think I want to add a little highlight on the tip of my nose, my forehead, the apples of my cheeks, and my chin, just the areas that sunlight normally hits. Just want to blend that in a little bit more. Okay, so this is the completed look, you guys. I hope that you enjoy your day. Just to recap on the products that were used today, on the lips, we do have the Revolution Pout Balm. This is in the shade Kiss. I did use the Hydro Grip Primer. I used the Milani Green Goddess Glow Oil. The foundation we used today is the Makeup Artist Pro Base in the shade 185. For concealers, I used the shades Caramel, Chestnut, and Cookie from Born This Way Too Faced. To sculpt my brows, I used the Nicka K Super Brow Fixer. The palette that was used today was the 9X Little Extra from Morphe. Powders were the Laura Mercier and the Sasha Buttercup. What else? Oh, I'm sorry. We also used the Fit Me 355 Coconut to set the entire face. I used the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dewy Set to set the entire face. I think that's all the products for today, guys. Yeah, I think that's it. So again, that is all that I have for you all today. I am very pleased with this look. Not going anywhere. It's raining outside, but you know, why not look cute doing it? So if you have any questions, suggestions, or comments about the products used today, please leave them down below. If you haven't done so already, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, be blessed.